Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Pumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. This week our Expo is asking you about your views on Nkosana Magade's win in court this week. He's been fighting Vodacom for a very long time. Results of that Expo are coming up later in the program. Firstly, here's what we have today. We have bits on Safer Internet Day, which was just a couple of days ago. We look at e-commerce, and in our conversation, which is about the evolution of Facebook. It's 20 years old in February. Now, we're always urged to be safe online, but you find that a lot of people still make some mistakes, like not changing passwords as frequently as they should or repeating passwords over multiple platforms. Safer Internet Day is about cautioning us on how to do this.
Tuesday, 6th February was Safer Internet Day. The day's aim is to raise awareness of a safer and better internet for all, especially for children. In celebration of the day, Impact Amplifier launched a resource hub called Africa Online Safety Platform, dedicated to online safety for all in the African continent.
We really wanted to launch on Safer Internet Day because Africa has kind of not been included in a way that we feel is appropriate. So this platform is really trying to shine a highlight on actually Africa as a continent is very poorly understood from an online safety perspective. It lacks the kind of resources from an educational standpoint that are needed, and also the kind of tools to get help when you actually need it.
Impact Amplifier received a $1 million grant from Google.org and used half of it to create the Africa Online Safety Platform. The other half was distributed to 22 grantees across the African continent to help create safety on the internet. The platform is designed to empower educators, parents, academics, policymakers, among many others. Some of the grantees and contributors to the platform attended the launch.
Impact Amplifier has been a funder of ours for a while now. They first funded us to do a project that ran across 6 sub-Saharan African countries to counter COVID disinformation and to address vaccine hesitancy. And now they're funding us to do a project to develop an app which will connect communities to each other so that we can grow active citizenry, self-help, and get more sharing going amongst the citizenry in terms of providing help to each other between communities directly without government actually being involved.
As Childline Kenya, and that we run the platform for children to call in for support, the Child Helpline 116 in Kenya, then we will be present to provide the counselors who work with the child from the time the case is reported all the way through the judicial justice system for them to be assisted.
We're one of the beneficiaries of the fund. We're actually working with the Impact team to actually build a platform called Cobra, which is very much around cybercrime investigators collaborating together to investigate crimes and also to provide assistance to victims of cybercrime in South Africa.
Google says it's important to make sure people are safe while on the internet.
We've been in partnership with an organization called Impact Amplifier, and they've curated this platform for us. So we're really excited that we are now taking on serious challenges that affect online safety, such as, cyberbullying, cybersecurity, online harassment, financial scams. There's all these things that are happening on the internet. So we have a responsibility as social actors to come together and really increase the level of safety online.
The Africa Online Safety Platform intends to empower Africans with the knowledge and resources they need to understand the complexity of internet safety and to navigate the digital world safely. It also wants to give people a platform to seek restitution should they be a victim of cybercrime.
Universal or UMG recently announced that they'd be taking their library of social media platform TikTok Now, there have been various copyright issues as well when it comes to music ending up on various online platforms. But what could the problem be? And what are musicians and record labels as well have an issue with when it comes to all of this?
Universal Music Group has made a bold move, pulling their artists from the video sharing sensation TikTok, and it appears that the majority of young Joburgers are in agreement.
Content creators are making money out of the music of the artist, so I think the artist should be paid, because right now, like on TikTok, like content creators are making money out of their music.
I feel like TikTok on its own already, by having the music there, it's promoting these artists' music. So I don't see the need for them to actually pay. I mean, artists have I feel like they have many ways of income through their music. I feel like these social media platforms should just be for promoting, because the more they promote, the more people listen to their music.
TikTok should pay artists because they are making money with sharing their music. So artists supposed to get a share of their part, because the music is theirs.
Universal Music Group made their stance clear with an open letter announcing the termination of their contract effective January 31st, 2024. Artists such as Taylor Swift, John Batiste and Boy Genius, among others, have been removed from the platform. This decision stems from Universal Music Group's assertion of an unwillingness to fairly compensate artists and songwriters, safeguard human artists from the negative impacts of AI, and address online safety concerns for TikTok users. But what do TikTok users think about this move? One user, Siyabonga, shared his perspective.
I don't think UMG is being unreasonable, because firstly I think they have like the best in the world in terms of every department to make those kind of decisions, especially legally. And yeah, we can all see there's a lot of exploitation going on TikTok in terms of the sounds and everything. So as far as copyright laws are concerned, yeah, UMG is well within their rights.
However, TikTok has responded, stating that they find it necessary to pause the release of new music in light of these developments.
American online retailer Amazon has announced that they're coming to South Africa. Now, they've been dominant in Western markets for a very long time. This shows growth of South Africa's e-commerce space.
E-commerce has long been hyped as Africa's next high-growth market. Several reasons are cited among the continent's large young and tech-savvy population and the increasing mobile internet penetration.
I think we are such a force online when given the opportunity. So with the correct infrastructure, we're very vocal. Take TikTok, for example. If you say something about South Africans on TikTok, we are there. So I think when given the correct infrastructure, we're able to vocalize, not only showcase talent, but we are able to interact with international people.
Because Africa is obviously, it's got a huge young population, a growing population, and these big tech players are looking for new markets, new market share where they think growth is going to come from. So I think that's a big part of it. Is really, you know, we've got a continent that is set up to become a very big consumer base for e-commerce over the next 10 years.
Africa, however, is a unique environment and presents its challenges from logistical constraints to payment gateways.
We've got unique problems in South Africa, unique versus first world or America. I think for Amazon it will be a different market, and you know, for them to figure out the local flavor, the lie of the land, will take a bit of time. I think Takealot has obviously built a very strong distribution network and very strong brand equity in this market, and I still think that, you know, they're going to play a meaningful role in the future.
So I think, especially in terms of the fact of job creation, you know, with a new player entering the market, it will stimulate growth for new jobs and new opportunities. With international players moving into the market, also there's higher investment within infrastructure, and they also bring new technologies to the market, which you know, the current players can learn from and adapt. So. Yeah, look, South Africa has got its own challenges, but what we've shown as a country is that we're resilient and we can overcome these challenges.
Now, international companies like Google and Facebook are increasingly choosing to set up headquarters in Africa as part of their global expansion. US-based tech giant Amazon announced that it will launch Amazon.co.za in the country this year, providing SA-based sellers the ability to reach their customers across the country. Analysts say Africa's most advanced economy is usually seen as a beachhead for companies to expand into the continent, and Amazon could be doing the same.
I think South Africa is in such a wonderful position because we've got a bit of good infrastructure. We've got government that works at times, not always, but it works. So I think they set up shop because there is potential for growth. There is potential to see that the market is emerging. There is a sense of stability, so you're not necessarily going to invest in a country where you're not going to see the output. So they know that whether it's Johannesburg or Cape Town, there is exportation that happens from South Africa that does help the economy, that does contribute towards the GDP of other countries as well.
Given South Africa's high unemployment and load shedding problems, many in the industry do not see the launch as a game changer. With more foreign businesses moving in every year, industry players say it is time for local businesses to start planning their online e-commerce strategies before they completely miss out on a large opportunity.
If we go back to basic economics, is that, you know, competition is good and it's healthy because it drives prices down and it tends to improve quality of service delivery, for example. I think the thing that's very important is that, you know, local businesses, small, medium enterprises and entrepreneurs need to see this as an opportunity. I mean, they've got a new platform to list their products and to reach a greater audience.
With their unmatched expertise in tech, US companies are well positioned to benefit from the growth of Africa's tech market. But to maximize this opportunity, they must address the needs of African users, cautioned the analyst.
I see that Amazon has already started putting up a site where they are requesting local businesses to start to list their products, you know, for sale. We need to also remember that, you know, the local players in the market, that there's brand loyalty. So, you know, the consumers know the brands, they'll be buying from those brands, and it will have to, it's up to us to make sure that we take advantage of this.
Those in the industry say that while investing in Africa may yield financial rewards, investing in African citizens will be the key to unlocking the continent's vast economic potential.
SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. After the break, we chat about Facebook. Now, it changed the way we do social network and what social networking sites would eventually be. It's SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram, News Network at sabc.co.za. An email, welcome back. Now, the month of February sees Facebook turning 20 years old. It was founded in 2004 as a platform for students who were at the time at Harvard University, but it has evolved to be many other things over the last 20 years. To talk to us about Facebook is Professor Shepherd Mbofu. He is Associate Professor of Media at the University of South Africa, and that is UNISA. Professor Mbofu, hello and thank you very much for being a part of our network. Facebook was founded as a platform for students, but there have been changes over the last 20 years.
I think if you look at the history of Facebook as a social networking site and also the number of users that it has, probably the leading social media site in terms of subscribers and daily usage, and also the impact that it has created in political and even in economic circles in some instances. So we cannot undermine the importance of Facebook in people's lives and also is a social networking site.
It wasn't founded to make the political impacts that you speak of. Maybe if you can talk us through that.
People now copycat what students were trying to do within Harvard, right? And make it sort of a worldwide and also applicable to other different contexts. And then Facebook therefore becomes an important tool in that it gets adopted beyond its intended use. And if I may say, if you look at the age groups that are actually using Facebook, you find that older people are using Facebook more than the younger generation. So, which means that Facebook moves from what it was intended for through technological developments.
In much of Africa, perhaps other parts of the world too, where people can't publicly meet at public water taps, for example, or even town halls to discuss topics that might be seen as taboo and maybe even political topics, it became that platform that people could go to. How?
That's another important issue with Facebook, that beyond connecting families, beyond connecting friends from high school, from universities, and sharing pictures and trying to locate each other and stuff like that, it becomes an important political communication tool in a context where you find that mainstream media closes out certain voices. If you look at dictatorial spaces where the ruling parties or governing parties control the media, closing out opposition and alternative voices from accessing the state-controlled media to tell the potential voters and people their programs and projects. Facebook becomes an alternative space. But again, it's not an entirely free alternative space in that people were mostly using their names, their identities, and when whatever they posted was considered to be subversive to the sitting government, they could easily be tracked.
Lately, founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg has been hurled in front of lawmakers in the United States of America. There have been laws that have targeted Facebook and other similar platforms as well in Europe. Would you say this is correct? Is that what should have been happening?
Let's remember that when Facebook comes up, when the internet grows and penetrates the whole world, some legal systems are not catching up as quickly as one would expect them to be too. And in some cases, genuinely, Facebook might have done business without necessarily infringing on certain existing laws. But importantly, again, in retrospect, and in some cases, those governments that were advanced enough would have created certain laws to impede the access and the abuse of users' data.
What do you think the future is with platforms that are competing with Facebook, such as X, for example, for conversations, or even perhaps TikTok for short videos?
One thing with Facebook is that there's a generation that joined Facebook when at its infancy, maybe 10 years after or before the formations of the current platforms, and that generation is growing with the platform. I think that's one of the most important things that we have to realize with Facebook, is that there's a generation that is growing with the platform because they've been with the platform for a long time. And also there are generations that are outgrowing these new sort of youthful platforms which attract a lot of young people. And one would imagine that as people grow older, issues around vanity and body shapes and looks and stuff will stop to matter, and they will stop using the certain platforms because of that.
All right, Professor Shepherd Mpofu, thank you very much for being a part of our network. Professor Shepherd Mpofu is the Associate Professor in the Media Department at the University of South Africa, that is UNISA. SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. Use network at sabc.co.za on email. Stay with us. SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. Welcome back. Here's what else took place in the rest of the world in the tech space.
Apple fans swarmed the company's flagship store in New York to get their hands on the Vision Pro headsets, Apple's first new product in 7 years that went on sale in the US.
Yeah, it was amazing. Very cool demo. Encounter Dinosaurs looked great, where dinosaurs coming at you quite quickly. And then I tried the Mario demo, which was really cool. Where like it's a 3D Mario movie, and it's really nice. I did some panoramas as well, which was quite cool, where you're kind of looking around at the ocean. You can just look up, and everything is like all around. It's really immersive. It is great. It's got a couple of problems. You do feel the weight a little bit. But I think, if you get the balance right, and if you're laying down to take a bit of the weight off, and the top strap as well might help that. So we'll see.
As the world's largest smartphone market, China is crucial to Apple's sales. And now in Mexico. Mothers in the South American country have turned to drones to help find their missing loved ones. These drones are scanning vast tracts of barren land for clues into what could be clandestine graves for the missing. Mounted with thermosensitive cameras, these drones can show distortions in the soil which could point to an unmarked grave.
Tenemos una visión, una vista aérea donde podemos ver una área más amplia que la normal. Independientemente de eso, ya con cámaras específicas como térmicas o ya se pueden, a otras capas, se pueden visualizar indicios que nos pueda decir que hay cuerpos ahí depositados.
There are over 100,000 people missing in Mexico, largely as a result of drug cartel violence. Many are murdered and buried in clandestine, sometimes mass graves. But authorities have little clue as to where those burial sites are and lack the resources to keep searching. And now back in the USA. The chief executives of social media companies Meta, X, TikTok, Snap and Discord faced tough questions on their efforts to combat online child sexual exploitation at a US Senate hearing.
You and the companies before us, I know you don't mean it to be so, but you have blood on your hands. You have a product. You have a product that's killing people. When we had cigarettes killing people, we did something about it, maybe not enough. You're going to talk about guns, we have the ATF. Nothing here. There's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. You can't be sued.
The committee last year approved several bills, including one that would remove tech firms' immunity from civil and criminal liability under child sexual abuse material laws that was first proposed in 2020. None have become law.
Please Call Me creator Nkosana Makate has been in court battles with Vodacom, the company that used to make a lot of money from that Please Call Me service. Now he's won massively in court this week. This week our expo is asking you about your thoughts when it comes to Nkosana Makate and the money that he wants from Vodacom and whether he should be paid all of it. And that's it. That's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network on Facebook, X and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za on email. From me, Spumelele Zondi and the rest of the network team. Have a good one. Bye-bye.